Hello, good evening. Um, this is Natalie. I am addressing myself as Natalie because I'm just having a regular talking video rather than my musical videos in which I would be addressing myself as Nefeli. Um, but today I'm Natalie because I'm just talking, and today I'd like to talk to you about my wonderful accomplishment, which is that I've quit smoking cigarettes for 15 days. And I know a lot of people struggle with this and other addictions. And I would like to share with you why I quit smoking and what you can do or what I've done to continue to stop smoking, and what has been helpful for me. So, three really main reasons why I decided to quit. The first reason is because of my mood swings and irritability that my addiction has caused me. Essentially, when I am having a craving, I go into a very stressful mood, and I just don't like that feeling. I still get stressed out from other things on a day to day basis, but I'm able to really handle that stress a lot easier and move on to the next feeling when I don't have this circulating focus of my nicotine addiction revolving around my head and just having the day revolve around going outside for a cigarette. So I've collected kind of a list of really great benefits to quitting smoking that has led me to quit smoking and is helping me to continue to quit. My second reason is my kids, is I don't want them to smell smoke and associate it with a wonderful childhood and then grow up and have that smell still associate with a happy feeling. I don't want them to learn the habit of using external substances to feel a good emotion. I want my kids to learn how to feel good from the inside and not from the outside. And that's another reason why I quit. The third reason why I quit, other than my grandma dying of lung cancer, is because I want to be confident, and I am not confident looking in the mirror and looking at myself, knowing that I am doing something that's destructive to my health. And essentially, I respect myself more now, and my skin also is starting to look better. I think it's going to take a while. You may not notice what it does to my skin, but I really, really notice, and I really, really don't like it. So, those are my main reasons for quitting. Let me get this light out of the way here. That light is very annoying. And there's a light that just went off. Okay. I have to sit awkwardly to even make a video. So those are my reasons for quitting, and I'm going to talk now about how to quit smoking, which is a very long process if you haven't quit before, or if you've been smoking for a very long time. For a lot of people, including myself, it's taken a lot of different times to quit. I've quit for years and still relapsed into my cigarettes, and so now I've made the final decision to quit. I think it's been very challenging to quit because I tell myself I can quit whenever I want. And if I'm looking into the deep truth of it, that's true, but it's hard for me to make that commitment. And it's hard for somebody to make that true and deep commitment that they're going to quit, because once you make that commitment, it's actually a lot easier to do. But if you haven't made that commitment in your mind, then your addiction is going to roll back around, posing as you, telling you that you need to go do something. So the mental endurance is the biggest piece of quitting smoking. You really need to separate your ego, your higher self, from your ego, and your ego is the one that's going to fuel your addiction, and it's going to tell you that you need to go and have a cigarette when you're having that craving. So I think that's the biggest part of how I've been able to quit, is to just separate myself from that voice and that feeling, acknowledging that it's still there and it's always going to be there, and it still is there, and it's very, very annoying that that voice is not me, that voice is my addiction. And so if you can kind of put yourself into that mental awareness that you are not your addiction, that can really help you to quit as well. Setting a quit date is very, very important to mentally prepare yourself for when you do quit, because you are going to go through a very difficult time the first week or two of quitting because of the physical withdrawals. Now, the mental withdrawals, like I said, that addiction voice inside of you is always going to be there. It's always going to tell you to go have a cigarette. No matter how many years later, it's still going to be revolving around in your head. So just be aware of that. But getting through the physical piece and the way that your cortisol levels are going to be affected when you're missing having a cigarette during that craving, it's very, very challenging, and you want to let the others around you know that you're quitting. You want to let them know you're going to be having a very hard time. I know for me, it was kind of a combination of letting off a very big load of negative energy for me, but then also through the process of letting that out, it was very heavy and it was very hard for me, and I was just not in a good mood for like 5 days. So, just something to be aware of. You're going to go through probably hell. I know it's a lot worse for addicts of much more deadly and addictive substances than nicotine, but I mean, nicotine is on the list of like very highly addictive substances. So I could tell you that it's not easy at all physically, but you will get past that period where it's not hard, and so you really have to push through that and through that and making that decision that you've really quit. Because if you don't make that decision that you've really quit, and if you haven't made that commitment, just like honestly, just don't even try, because you're just setting yourself up to get mad at yourself for smoking again. Make the decision, and once you've made the decision, follow through with the decision. And when you're having that craving, just forget about cigarettes. Just it's not a thing anymore. You're not doing it anymore. You've made that commitment, and you're not going back to it. So there's no special formula. There's no special things you should eat. Yes, take care of yourself. This is a very big piece of why we relapse and go back to our nicotine habit, is because it does help us to self-soothe, when in reality we're actually just making things worse for ourselves. We are self-soothing in the moment and feeling better in the moment. So I know for me, breathing exercises and meditation has been really key to helping me separate my addiction from my actual self, and in terms of that, I've been able to say no to that addictive voice that wants to go and have a cigarette, which honestly, it's going off all the time. It's going off now. I would, and the crazy thing is after 2 weeks of not smoking and going through all the physical withdrawal, if I were to go outside and have a cigarette right now and listen to that voice, I literally would only probably feel good for like 20 seconds. And then after that, I'd be like, shit, not only did I just relapse, but I don't feel as great as I thought I would. So that's another interesting thing as well, is once you pass that physical withdrawal point, it is a lot easier to set up a new physical setting for yourself during your first week or two of quitting, just because it's so hard on you mentally, that it's nice to have a distraction from a different environment. So if it's like staying with a friend for a few days or going on a vacation or whatever it is, just kind of switching it up so that you're already thrown off really, really helps. And then once you get past that physical point, you just have to, recognize that your addiction's always going to be there. So that's pretty much the end of my video. I know it's been a very long time since I posted anything, and that I don't really post anymore, but I would really like to try to get here and say something every once in a while. I am planning to come out with my Breaking Code Silence story, but until I'm able to do that, what I would like to encourage others to do is go to breakingcodesilence.net, read about the troubled teen industry and the people that are profiting off vulnerable children, and really very much become an advocate of that, and probably will mention it every single video that I have. I will mention it. I will also mention Eternal Life North, which is my business that I'm building up. So feel free to go to my website, eternallifenorth.com, if you are genuinely interested in buying something and not just trolling and seeing what I'm up to. I guess you could, but I'm not really doing a hard launch of my business right now. I'm just letting y'all know I changed my YouTube name to my business name. So that's what that is. And I'll be back to discuss my business as well. But for now, I'm just closing up this video, which I hope helps somebody. I know it's helping me to keep away from smoking cigarettes. So, I mean, it's been 15 days, and I feel very good. And I just have to put it out there. This is very difficult for me to come onto YouTube, onto the internet of the world, and put this information out there. But I think I've reached a point in my personality development now that I'm almost 30 years old where I really have to stop caring what people might think of me and people that might judge me, because there's other people out there, people like myself, who are either further in their life process or behind me in their life process of personal growth and going down a righteous path. And part of my righteous path is to stop smoking cigarettes, and I have accomplished that. So if you are on that path or going to be on that path, I really hope that this video has helped you. And if you're not, if you're just watching this because you think I'm cool, then just stick around for more information about Breaking Code Silence. Go to breakingcodesilence.net. And just know that I do have a business now. It's called Eternal Life North, and it's a very small business. It's very, very small. It's about this small. But it's there, and I hope to build it with lots of different branded items and retail items and t-shirts and blankets and really cool stuff that people can use on an everyday basis to maybe fund organization like Breaking Code Silence. So if you haven't gone into breakingcodesilence.net yet and read a bunch of testimonies on the troubled teen industry, please go and do that, because I am a advocate for Breaking Code Silence. All right, thank you all. Peace out.